the McDonald's formula of business. So McDonald's has a business, right? They have a hamburger stand. And when you interview Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, if you saw the the movie, The Founder, he gave the formula away. The business of McDonald's is not hamburgers. The business of McDonald's is real estate. And that's the formula. So every time you go past a McDonald's stand, oh, you deserve a break today, eat at McDonald's. But they're not seeing the real game. The game is that little hamburger stand is buying the most expensive real estate in the world. So today McDonald's owns more real estate than the Catholic Church. But the rich are evil and all that. They just can't see it.
Try to live your life in a way that you will not regret years of useless virtue and inertia and timidity. Take up the battle. Take it up. It's yours. This is your life. This is your world. You make your own choices. Pick up the battle and make it a better world. Just where you are. Yes, and it can be better, and it must be better, but it is up to us.
The biggest thing I'd say is give yourself permission to take time. Give yourself permission to recognize that living your passion and creating a purpose takes time. For some people, they've waited till 30 or 40 or 50 or 60. We want it to happen in our 20s, but your best years are yet to come.
The human brain cannot comprehend the negative. Don't think of an elephant. You can't tell the human brain not to do something. Skiers know this. If you ever seen skiers go through trees, if you go through trees on skis and you go, don't hit a tree, don't hit a tree, don't hit a tree, guess what you're watching? You're only looking at trees, as opposed to follow the snow.
You ever ask a man how he's doing and he says, I'm alright. I'm here to tell you, that man is not alright. That man is battling demons that you cannot even possibly imagine. That man is struggling every single day to find a reason to keep going. And the reason we say we're all right is because as a man, nobody really fucking cares what you're going through. So why even bother to say it? But you know what? I feel you, brother. Because I'm alright too.
Hello, Mr. Musk. My name is Alex Perez. I really like your jacket today, and so it kind of got me thinking, has Tesla ever thought about going into the motorcycle business?
Yeah, I actually used to ride motorcycles when I was a kid, and I was like dirt biking for like 8 years or something. Had a road bike until I was 17 and was almost killed by a truck. So we're not going to do motorcycles.
I wasn't so angry. I didn't have my guard up. I wasn't so aggressive. I wasn't so, expecting, if you ain't helping me, fuck you. That wasn't the mentality no more. And I can't blame nobody, that's thinking about how they gonna pay their rent, or like going through not having food at the house, being young and having to go outside to hustle to feed themselves for school clothes. That's gonna change people. That's gonna make you feel it.
I just want to make a lot of money and tell people money is not everything for this life. First you want to make a lot of money though, right? Yeah. That's crazy.
If you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
I'm an entrepreneur.
You're unemployed.
I wouldn't say that.
What would you say?
That I'm an entrepreneur.
Well then what was your latest preneur?
Well, I founded an internet company that let folks download and share music for free.
Kind of like Napster?
Exactly, like Napster.
What do you mean?
I founded Napster.
Sean Parker founded Napster.
Nice to meet you.
I just slept with Sean Parker.
Hey Siri, who's the 19th president of the United States?
Here's what I found on the web for who's the 19th
The fact that I know that
States.
Rutherford B. Hayes is the 19th president of the United States that quickly makes me laugh at every school in America that's making kids memorize the presidents of the United States. Yeah. It's lazy. Every single piece of education in the world that sits with memorization should be eliminated because information is a commodity. It sits on your phone.
Your father gave you this life lesson, never be satisfied. And there's a story behind this with the trophy, which I think is really interesting.
Yes, my father was a drill sergeant, and he was the type of gentleman that you never question. So when I was young, let's say I went on a Saturday, you know, playing at the local Boys and Girls Club, we'd celebrate, trophy be there Saturday. When I wake up on Sunday, it'd be gone. So I never asked him why. Wow. So finally, when I made it to the NBA, I asked him, I said, why do you used to take all my trophies when I was young? He said, because I never wanted you to be dissatisfied.
Make 1,000,000 mistakes. Just quit wasting your energy making the same mistakes. You have to make a decision that I will learn from this thing.
You're gonna remember this? I do. Good. One fucking life. One life, my friends, one time. And honestly, I'll leave you with this because a lot of you need it. How you make your money is more important than how much you make.
If you would just get up and teach them instead of handing them a freaking packet, yo. There's kids in here who don't learn like that. Bye. They need to learn face to face. You're just getting mad because I'm pointing out the obvious and you're choosing. You're wasting my time. No, I'm not wasting your time. I'm telling you what you need to do. Get out. You want kids to come into your class, you want them to get excited for this, you got to come in here, you got to make them excited. You want a kid to change and start doing better, you got to touch his freaking heart. Can't expect a kid to change if all you do is just tell him.
How does Keanu Reeves deal with anxiety?
Breathe. Yeah, you got to breathe. Breathe. Try to figure out why are you afraid. What does that mean? And then try to just be and let not what you're afraid of define the present that you hope to be in when you go do what you're afraid of.
When you're starting something, it's just kind of hard. You need to be pretty headstrong about it, right? There are going to be all these challenges that come up, and I think the main thing that you need to do is just not give up, right? And kind of know what you want to do. And you know, the best entrepreneurs who I've met don't really start companies because their goal is to build a company. They do it because they want to make a change in the world and help people. And I think if you kind of stay true to that, and if you just focus on kind of powering through no matter what the challenges are that will inevitably come up in your path, then you'll find that there are lots of tools that are available and a lot of people who will help you build what you're building.
Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of failure. You don't learn anything from your success, you learn everything from your failure. So whenever you do something that doesn't work and you slip and fall over, don't be embarrassed about it, and don't be like the world is judging me, because largely people don't remember the failures. Like I've had so many things that haven't worked, but all people talk about are the hit singles or the gigs that you've sold out.
I just read and read and read. I probably read 5 to 6 hours a day. I don't read as fast now as when I was younger, but I read 5 daily newspapers. I read a fair number of magazines. I read 10Ks. I read annual reports, and I read a lot of other things too. So I've always enjoyed reading. I love reading biography.
When you do something in the same place every day, at the same time every day, that space builds an energy, and that time builds a memory. What does that mean? When you've done something in one place, like meditated in the same place for a considerable amount of time, that space takes on a meditative energy and frequency. It becomes easier to do that activity in that place. And similarly, when you do something at the same time every day, that time has a memory. Your body, your mind remember that, and therefore it becomes easier to do.
You've stated that you believe there could be an infinite number of parallel universes. Does that mean that there is a universe out there where I am smarter than you?
Yes, and also a universe where you're funny.
We over-exaggerate yesterday. We just think we were amazing yesterday. We weren't. Just trust me. Of course, when you're my age, 71, you don't need to worry about it. You forget. We over-exaggerate yesterday. Hey, we overestimate tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Oh, tomorrow. I'll get to that tomorrow. Oh, yeah. I'll do that. Tomorrow.
We all talk about the hard work. We all talk about, okay, be this, be that, be this, be that. But what I figured out as I got older is it's not about working hard in terms of putting in long hours, but it's about working smart. It's about working smart. And when you work smart, it gives you more time to be able to spend with your family. right? And have that consistency, because it's important to win all facets.
I know it's hard being a woman, but there's a coldness that you have to accept when you're a man, especially a black man. It's like the world's cold as a motherfucker, okay? You get older, one thing I learned, only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. Women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something.
I'm responsible, Ed, to move on what I see today. There's a whole bunch of people, they're wanting to hold and not move because they don't see 3 days, 5 days, 2 years out, whatever. And what I'm saying is, it's kind of like the lights of a car. If I go to the parking lot at night, turn on the lights and say, oh my gosh, I can't go where I don't see my house. Right. Well, no. Get in the car and start moving in the direction you're supposed to move in. And guess what? You only get about 300 feet of light. Right. You don't get you don't get 7 miles of light. You don't get to see your house. You've got to utilize the light you got so that you can get to where you want to go.
I wasn't good enough for anything, like whatever I did. I just wasn't good enough. And yeah, man, it's a psychological thing. I think that for anybody who feels like that, right? Like I just feel like I'm worthless. I'm not nothing in this world. Anybody who feels that and then finds something that they're actually good at, it's like I think that's what makes somebody go for that so hard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I was never good at nothing. I'm good at this.
The priceless part is the journey. The priceless part is all the no's you ran into, all the failures that happen, all the slip-ups, all the times you got knocked down. That is the fun part of the story. That's why when you get in a circle of people and you're talking to them about success and you're talking to them about what it's really like, they respect you and they love to be around you because you admit what it took to get.
I bet you that you have failed more times than anyone in this room.
Absolutely.
I promise you have. I'm willing to bet that I have failed more times than anyone in this room because I have attempted so many things that you have no idea what I've attempted and failed at. But I don't let the failures define me.
It's God pointing you in another direction.
It's clear about that. And you've got to be willing to go with that bend, because that bend in the road is the only way. Success is not a straight line.
It is not.
You have to respect what you've done. Take a second, not live in it, not sit around and say, I'm good. Sit back and say, let me look at the vantage point now that I'm at. That's why you reset the vantage point. Get the tactical advantage. If you get the tactical advantage too quick and start fighting, you got to take a second to take observation of where I'm at.
You can't punish people for mistakes. It's like you have to forgive people. And a big part of that, is forgiving yourself.
Gratitude erases negativity. I'm gonna show you how this works. If you wake up in the morning, you start having negative thoughts. Man, this ain't my day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm tripping, I just don't feel myself. Every time you feel, in the middle of the day, if you feel yourself doing that, stop. Just stop for a second. And start going over in your mind everything you have to be grateful for. Not everything you want. Everything you already have. Because what you have is substantial.
Hello everyone, I'm so sorry I can't be with you tonight. However, I couldn't completely miss the chance to take a moment to share some thoughts with all of you. The lesson I cherish the most is how important it is to love what you do. If you love what you do and it's making you happy, all the hard work and perseverance will pay off. I once had a guidance counselor tell me that I shouldn't play basketball, that it would never amount to anything. His negativity towards me made me stronger. You can't stop people from trying to limit your dream.
The greatest work that you could do in your life is the work that you do on yourself. The work of self-mastery. Your car comes with an owner's manual. Here's how you operate the windshield wipers. Here's how you turn it on. Here's how often you should change the oil. If you hear this, then this is probably what's happening. We are the most complex, sophisticated creation on this planet. There's no owner's manual.
Yeah.
And in fact, the people who take care of us while we can't take care of ourselves transfer their negative feelings about life.
Do you wish you were young? Why?
Well, the problem about, the great thing about being young is you have more time. You have more time to do things. I could play games, which I did. I used to play cowboys and Indians.
Yeah, that's what I play.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's what I like about being young. I could use my imagination more.
That's a sad story. You can't do that anymore.
Well, I could be an older cowboy.
My dad said don't ever get in a car with a stranger. But tonight we took an Uber here.
Even if everyone is telling you that something wrong is something right, even if the whole world is telling you to move, it is your duty to plant yourself like a tree, look them in the eye and say no. You move.
You know, most guys like us that are successful and stuff that supposedly have it all, our kids are fucked up. You know?
Yeah.
They're fucked up. They never had the life that we had. They never struggled. They never know struggle. Without struggle, there's no progress. Yep. You know, and that's why they don't progress, because they don't struggle.
I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover.
I don't know, no, because if you're a lover, you got to be a fighter.
How so?
Because if you don't fight for your love, what kind of love do you have? No, I'm kidding.
Gratitude erases negativity. I'm gonna show you how this works. If you wake up in the morning and you start having negative thoughts, man, this ain't my day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm tripping, I just don't feel myself. Every time you feel, in the middle of the day, if you feel yourself doing that, stop, just stop for a second. And start going over in your mind everything you have to be grateful for. Not everything you want, everything you already have. Because what you have is substantial.
I've often said, the point of life, the meaning of all this chasing you're doing, is one simple thing. How do you feel about yourself when you're by yourself? I know a lot of people that fear that quiet. I know a lot of people that don't want to be alone with themselves. And the reason they don't want to be alone with themselves is because they don't think they're worthwhile.
If you don't think you're great, ask yourself why. Why don't you think the highest of yourself? When you do, people have no choice but to follow suit. You got no choice but to follow suit.
Well, a lot of people, they base it on their past. They base it on the life that they've experienced up until this moment.
Makes you better.
Yeah, it does make you better.
The world is so fast-paced. The world is so noisy. So my conversation now a lot of times is, my God, slow down. The world can take you here, be there, be everywhere. And I lose myself sometimes. So I catch myself in the airport. I catch myself in the plane where I'm writing stuff down. Okay, remember this, remember that. And I go, hey, hang on a second, Goggins. What got you here? This isn't what got you here. Slow the down.
Eagles fly alone. I have no friends. Friends are problems. Friends are challenges. I mean, if you're not into yourself enough that you can't spend the weekend by yourself, then something's fucking wrong with you. Self-esteem, being a high-performance person, and accomplishing high-performance acts. Something's wrong with you.
What you care about what people think about you? You have to learn one thing in life. You cannot love everybody and appreciate everybody, and it goes both ways. If you don't learn that now, you're going to always be the fool of somebody. Live your life to the full. Everything you do, and as long as you don't hurt anybody, and you're happy doing what you do, let them talk.
When I'm at restaurants, I am a big tipper. You know, I like to show people my appreciation. So when they come up to the table, I say, the quicker I get my order, the bigger your tip will be, right? And then the food will come fast. And then when we get ready to leave, I'll ask them, how much you want?
You'll ask the waiter how much you want?
How much you want? And the most someone said was $4,000. And I said, okay, no problem.
You gave him $4,000? You should have punched him in the head is what you should have done.
I worked. I wrote all of my visions down. I read them every morning and every night. And I instilled them in my head. And every time I met somebody, they say, hey man, what you trying to do? I would tell them one of my visions. Somebody would always say to me, you know, I know a guy that's selling them things right there. You ought to talk to him. I started scratching stuff off my vision board. My vision board is so vast now. If I showed you what was on it, you wouldn't even believe it.
Lamar Taylor, my best friend, I convinced him to drop out of high school with me. Now he's my creative director, and I hope there's no regrets at this point. So,
have loyalty and love, because love really don't mean jack. See, love is just a feeling. You can love somebody, still stab them in their back. It don't really take much to love. You can love somebody just by being attached. See, loyalty is an action. You can love or hate me and still have my back.
Gratitude is the antidote to the two emotions that mess up most people's lives. What are they? Anger and what? Fear. Those are the two biggies. You cannot be grateful and angry simultaneously. That's the beauty of it. It's the antidote to anger. You can't be fearful and grateful simultaneously.
You give a young lady wanting to become president of the United States.
Well, I hope we do have a young lady at some point become president of the United States. I can tell you how I think it will happen, because it won't happen in the normal course of events. Either the Republican or Democrat political party will nominate a man for president and a woman for vice president. And the woman and man will win. So you'll end up with a president, a male, and a vice president, a female. And in that term of office of the president will die. And the woman will become president under the law.